Welcome back, everybody. This is We Three Bros podcast. It's me and Joseph again today. Justin got called away to some, well, I don't know how you say it, company time, some company mandatory fun, I guess. So, what's up, Joseph? How's it going?
It's going well, man. It sucks that, Justin is busier than a Disney writer right now because damn. Or a Marvel writer right now, man. But yeah, man, we definitely missed the guy. Hopefully he can make the next episode. But nah, man, I'm doing great, man. Week's been pretty good. I think I told you a little bit earlier, man. Been kind of under the weather the past few days, but we powering through, man, and wasn't gonna miss the podcast today. So I'm here now, man. Excited to start this and get ready and talk about some topics, man, that we said we are gonna talk about last episode.
All right. Well, let's get to it. What do you want to go? What do you want to go after first?
Oh man, the first thing, man, I want to talk about was the Untold Stories, right? That's a upcoming documentary. Well, I say upcoming. It's now they released the first episode recently. But just some untold stories about just different athletes and just some of the things. It's a sports documentary, right? And they're talking about different athletes and just different times and periods of their careers. One of them they're going to talk to is like Caitlyn Jenner, right? Malice at the Palace. An athlete. There was an athlete who was a tennis athlete who was supposed to, face off against another, tennis pro for like the championship or something, and then literally pulled out
Oh yeah,
minutes,
because it was
hours.
like he was like it was like too much pressure or whatever.
Yeah, he was suffering
Yeah.
from like mental health and stuff, right? Like suffering with anxiety and everything. But yeah, and I believe there's a track star. There's another one about a track star or somebody in track and field that, unfortunately, was it track and field? I believe it's track and field. If it wasn't track and field, for sure boxing. There was one
Mhm.
about a young lady who went to the Olympics, had a good relationship with her trainer, and then I guess it just didn't come out
Oh
really
yeah,
well.
yeah. That was a boxing one.
But yeah, man. So she but yeah, so there's those. But the first episode that was released was Malice at the Palace, man. Do you remember where you were at whenever? And this was like in 2004. So where were you in 2004, and were you even paying attention to sports at all? Basketball, at the least. I know you're not the biggest basketball fan. Not that you hate basketball, but just don't watch it often. Do you remember it
Um,
happening, man? I feel like it's one of those incidences that it goes, it just shakes the sports world, right?
Yeah, I remember seeing stuff about it. I'm not sure if I, saw it happen as it happened. I
Hmm.
probably wasn't watching that game. 2004, I was either in Iraq still,
Okay.
or in Germany, or I was in Oklahoma. Just getting back to Oklahoma. I guess it depends on what time of the year it was.
Okay. I believe this is
So
November. It was November 17th, 2004.
so yeah, I was probably in Oklahoma by then, but I'm not sure if I was like, uh, at a, I know I wasn't watching it. I know I didn't see it like happen.
Yeah, of
I
course.
probably saw it later on in the news or on Sports Center or something like that.
Yeah. I believe I was in high school when this happened, man. Me being a youngin. No, man. So it happened when I was in high school, and I was like a basketball fan because obviously, at that time, and I think I've been a basketball fan since I was a kid.
Hmm.
And we can get into that story another time how I got into basketball. But I knew everybody knew about the Lakers, everybody knew about Kobe, right? And I remember the Pistons coming out, the year before that and beating them, right? Beating them in the championship, and everybody was like shocked that the Pistons won the way that they did, and
Yeah,
everybody was thought the Lakers had it, they were going to go in there be the better team, but no, man, the Pistons came out, they won that, right?
yeah.
But and they kind of talk about that in the documentary. And I remember, like, I don't remember it happening. I remember watching it that day, but I remember watching it that like next day, and just being like, "What? There's like a huge brawl." And like, I was just, as a kid, not a kid, but as a teenager, you're full of hormones and testosterone.
Yeah.
You're just like, "Oh, that's fucking awesome. I wish I was there. Like, I'd have been fighting them too." But now
Right.
thinking about, it, I was like, that dude would have knocked me the fuck out with his
Right.
pinky. Somebody would have knocked me out, right? Um, but watching it, and then rewatching it again, it just kind of like I remember I watched it like a year or two again, right? Just went to YouTube. I was like, oh, I want to see how this happened or what happened, and and I just remember like in my mind it was like the fans ran out to the court and started fighting these guys, but kind of going back and watching it, that obviously wasn't the case. It was Ron Artest, aka Mr. I guess aka he officially changed his name to Meta World Peace. Got a cup thrown at him from a fan and like
From a
ran in the
fan.
stands
Yeah.
and just started just fighting people, right? And then Steven Jackson ran in there and defended his friend and fought somebody else too. And I believe like they finally kind of broke it up, and Ron Artest came back into the court, and sure enough, man, there was a fan on the court and like bowed up to him, right, and had like clenched his fist, and Ron Artest was like sitting there like. And in the documentary, he says he's like, I thought it was an alien, like not seriously, but he was so like shocked that there was a fan that was on the court that he was like, oh shit, and just kind of put his hands up and just punched the guy in the face, right? And then eventually they had a little scuffle and they broke it up or whatever. And Jermaine O'Neal, like you see again, they show that in the video, the guy who tried to fight Ron Artest, his friend was with him, but it was a
Yeah.
little bit more back. And so they start pushing both these guys back, and Jermaine O'Neal just like full sprint just comes in and decks his friend in the face and just drops him. And so just total chaos, man. Total chaos with everything that went on, man. And again, they go into it in more detail and they show different angles, and they say that it was like hours of footage, man, because they had everything, right? And they were able to identify people and bring them in and arrest them. And like
Yeah.
the person that they're like one of the officers they were interviewing, they interviewed a few, but one of the guys who was leading the head investigation was just kind of like, he's like, what the punishment that the NBA gave them was a lot worse than what like the criminal courts were going to do, right? And like I
Yeah.
think the criminal courts eventually like told them like, hey, like it wasn't your guys' fault. It was like they started it. Where the NBA was just like, shouldn't have did that, year suspension.
Yeah.
So um, it was interesting to kind of see them like just the different comparisons. Like you always forget, man, like at the NBA, like or any kind of sports, man, it's an organization that you're working for. So what you have to like represent yourself and how they want you to represent yourself, right? There's a contract, like
Yeah.
you're supposed to kind of follow the guidelines, right? And if you
Yeah.
don't, then you have to face the consequences. But sometimes the consequences in the sport or for the company you're working for are not the same that kind of follow up with the laws, right? So
Yeah.
like if you do something wrong and a company wants to fire you because you didn't uphold your end of the contract, like they have every right to.
Yeah.
And like government can't really come in. Now for suspension and stuff, maybe they can come in and have a say so and say, hey, maybe that's not right or whatever. Which I think one of them, he did have his suspension reduced, but that's a whole other thing, right? But kind of going back, and I'm like all over the place with this, but kind of going back, man, it was just interesting to see all that unfold. What were kind of the repercussions, and it was good to see the athletes apologetic, right? And they were
Yeah.
like, hey, look, man, I shouldn't have did it. I shouldn't have like went in there. I shouldn't have, started that. I shouldn't have punched this person. I should have handled it, been more cool. Like none of that would have happened, right? But again, you've been to a game, Derek, like any kind of game, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're sitting there and if you're at a Yankees game, right? I know you love the Yankees, man. If you're at a Yankees game and Aaron Judge's in the outfield, right? And he's like, he has his hands up and he's trying to pump up the crowd, man. What are you going to do, man? You're
Yeah.
going to start
Everyone
getting
gets hyped.
louder. Everybody gets hype, right? Now, if he's just like pointing at people to start punching them and shit like that or ridiculing them, like, what do you think you might do? I
Right.
don't know if you would probably go up to punch somebody because Aaron Judge told you to do that. But, like, if you see him kind of like pushing some people in the stands or whatever, like, hey, you might go in there and like help your guy out or something, right? And especially
Yeah.
if it's somebody on the other team, like let's say it's somebody from another team runs into the stands and starts pushing up on some Yankees fans and stuff. Like, man, you being a fan, you might get all entrapped by all the stuff that's going on and go in there and try to help somebody, right?
Well, that's kind of what happened a couple weeks ago in Los Angeles when Houston came and played the Dodgers. Like there was mad fights broke out in that game between fans.
Now let's be real, man. The Dodgers hate us. Sorry, and I say
Oh
us
yeah.
because I being an Astros fan, right? Like the Dodgers hate us with a passion.
Yeah.
I take the back. Everybody hates us with a passion. We're the cheaters. Whatever, man. Everybody cheats. Like I get it, right? There's a bunch of teams that
I
got
don't think
caught for
it's
it.
like to me, I mean, this is getting way off topic, but to me, it isn't solely about the cheating. It's
Okay.
about the players not taking responsibility. Yeah, they signed some deal where they sold the management out so they couldn't
Yeah,
get punished. But then
that was
when
fucked
they
up.
had the chance to publicly say, I cheated, I'm sorry, they were like, fuck you guys. We didn't do anything wrong.
Okay,
Like,
you make a good
especially
argument.
Altuve
Okay.
and Bregman were like totally like to me they're like douchebags about it, like ha ha, we got away with it, that's the
Yeah.
way like I perceive like their so-called apology.
And you being like fans of the opponents, right? Like you're a
Yeah.
fan of the not rival teams, but teams that aren't. You're not an Astros fan, right?
Yeah.
And for you to kind of say that, like that makes sense, right? Like I get it, right? People are mad because they didn't come out and apologize and stuff. Did
Or
they?
get punished. Like none of the players received a punishment. Yeah, the managers got fired and you lost some draft picks and the team got fined, but that in no way affects the individual players. Like that doesn't affect Altuve, that doesn't
Yeah.
affect Bregman, that doesn't affect Springer.
Mm-hmm.
None of the players that were in that whole thing got punished themselves. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so what? You lost your manager. That doesn't, like, your manager's not the one out. He makes decisions and he could affect play, but he's not the one out there, like, taking bats, swinging at the plate. He's not the one pitching. He's to lose your manager isn't as big deal as if, like, say those core players that were involved. What if they got suspended for a year?
Mm-hmm.
How would the Astros play? That would affect the team, not losing your manager.
No, I get where you're coming from, and I think two things here, right? Number one, I think it sounds like with them not apologizing was a very like legal thing to do, right? Like, for example, if yes, they got caught,
Yeah,
right?
they did.
Like they didn't want to admit
Not admitting guilt.
exactly, and I think
Yeah.
that was like the main thing, which is a real like, unfortunately, from the eye.
But then they didn't have to go the opposite direction and be like, and I don't know, like the statements they did give out were, it was like they're like they didn't care.
Yeah.
So that like they could have worded their statements different, or they could have made it sound like they were not like admitting that they were guilty, but like more apologetic, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But not to be like, we don't care. Like, who cares? We did it. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem.
No, for sure. And again, respect it, right? Another thing too, I think you would know this. Do you remember Abu Ghraib?
What you mean the the why can't I think of it right now?
I believe that's how you pronounce it. I could be butchering it here, right? But remember that situation with the soldiers
Yeah,
and the prisoners and stuff?
the prisoners in the that little outskirts of Baghdad.
Right. You remember all that stuff that happened? From the remarks of the soldiers, right, that were like doing some of that stuff, they said that it was like orders from people above them that told them to do those things, right? Now, in that regard, like you being a former soldier, and I'm not even trying to compare this completely to baseball, but I'm trying to compare it in the sense of like, if somebody from the top is telling you to do something that you're not supposed to, but you know that that's a direct order from them and you have to listen, you're going to follow them. So at that point, is it whose fault is it? Is it the people who are superiors, or is it the people who are doing the following? Yeah, because yes, you have a choice. Yeah, I know
it's a little different in the Army. Like, you're allowed to refuse orders if they go against your oath.
Mm-hmm.
And those kind of orders, like if someone's telling you to abuse somebody,
yeah,
that's going against your oath. You can refuse. You're legally allowed to refuse those orders, and you might get punished at the time, but it'll all come back full circle. And if it comes, if it comes to light that your higher ups did tell you to do this stuff, you'll probably get reinstated. If you lost rank, you'll get your rank back or whatever. And the people that should have got punished will get punished. So it's a little different.
No, for sure. But in that moment, right? Like you're in that moment. Like, of course, like you said, you have your oath. My dog is barking at other dogs. In that moment, right? You have that oath, right? And like you could go against what they're saying and everything.
Yeah.
But in that moment, as you have all your friends that are there with you, and like you're amongst your fellow soldiers and stuff, like, are you less or more likely to go along with it? I think
if everyone else is doing it, peer pressure, you probably go along with it.
You might go along. So I feel like in the Astro situation, again, orders are different, obviously, right? Like I'm not trying to, it's not apples to apples, right? It's fucking apples and oranges in the sense of like rank and all that stuff. But I'm like, if it was the manager's choice, right? Like if it was them, if they were the ones who came up with it, right? Which obviously is probably not correct, but we don't know exactly, right? They only gave statements or whatever. Like the managers could have been like, we'll take the blame. But I think the MLB or whoever was doing the sentencings, right? Like decided to suspend them and fire them or whatever. Like, did they do the right thing? Because was it a players? Because of course, like I was it Albert Pujols, right? Like he said he had a part of it, and everybody else had like. So it's just like, is it the players following directions and following orders, or is it at that point again you have everybody with you, you're starting to win. Like at what point are you just like, fuck it, we made it this far, let's keep going. Let's not say anything, So, but I get, but again, kind of going back, like I not trying to justify what they did. Like obviously it's fucked up, right? Like I would have wished my team didn't have a fucking asterisk right next to their championship win, right? Like, and that sucks. That sucks to hear, right? It's similar to like Reggie Bush and his Heisman Trophy, right? The man will
Yeah.
never get his Heisman Trophy because now what he did back then is now legal now, and but he still cheated, right?
Yeah.
He took money. He wasn't taking performance enhancing drugs, but he still violated something that wasn't supposed to be there, right?
Yeah.
So it sucks, man. And then from a public opinion aspect, like the public is the judge, jury, and the executioner, right? So
Yeah.
do I wish they would have came out and said, "Hey, man, we're sorry. Like we shouldn't have did this or whatever." Like, of course, man, you want to be remorseful a little bit, but but did they do that? No, obviously not. Did it piss off a bunch of people? I mean, fuck yeah. Are they booed in every stadium they go to? I mean, pretty much, besides their own. So, do I want them to succeed? Do I want them to win a championship to kind of prove the naysayers wrong? Like, hey, man, we did it this year and we didn't fucking cheat? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that going to happen? I don't fucking know, man. Like, that's another thing you go hope for redemption, right? Who are
Yeah.
some teams? One team that comes to my mind from a redemption story is, man, and I hate to give them fucking credit, is the New England Patriots, right? They
Yeah.
fucking deflated balls, you know, um,
Spygate.
Spygate. They had a bunch of issues, but still, they still won fucking championships after all that bullshit, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
was it the teams or was it the fucking, was it the teams? Was it the athletes? Was the coaching? Whatever it was, man, like they got caught. They said, all right, we're going to stop fucking doing it. And they still fucking won. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I feel like they redeemed themselves in a little bit. And Brady
Yeah.
redeemed himself even when he went to the Bucks,
Yeah.
and he's still getting away from all that bullshit. Right. So
Speaking of football, I'm going to a game tonight.
what?
Preseason game.
No
Lions and
way.
Buffalo.
Is there anybody from, well, I guess, are you rooting for any one of the teams, right? I know who your team is, man, but like, I know your dad's a huge Lions fan. Like, are you at least
Yeah.
going to root for the Lions, man? Do you see any brightness coming from either one of those teams this year?
I mean, I don't really think the Lions did enough to change their fortunes. Like they just swapped one quarterback for another.
True.
So I don't know. I know San Francisco plays them week 1. So. They're used to beating up on Jared Goff, so I guess we'll get to do it again one more time.
It'll be a good one, man. I'm sure it's gonna be fun. I always love preseason games. I think that's when you get like the best of like you get to see who's on the bench that's gonna play very well, right? The
Yeah.
starters, man, they're gonna still show up, right? They may have an
Yeah.
off year, good year, but it's always fun to watch them kind of come in and do their thing. And see like, yeah, it's Joe Smith. Who the fuck is Joe Smith? I don't know, but he's a linebacker and he's kicking ass, man. It's like, I hope this dude does really well. Like, I'll never forget watching Patrick Mahomes in the preseason, and a guy was putting up over 100 yards and probably had a completion percentage of like 70% or something like that. And I was like, okay. I saw that. I know of this kid. I know he played at Texas Tech, and he's gonna probably do really good things. But like, I didn't know that he was gonna be that good. But I remember watching
Yeah.
him in the preseason and being impressed, man. And I was like, holy shit. The same thing with Victor Cruz. I'll never forget watching Victor Cruz when he played for the Giants, man. I remember watching him in the preseason, and the guy he scored like 2 touchdowns, had like 150 like not passing yards, receiving yards, and or something like that. It was something crazy. Like, look at his stat line of like his rookie season in the preseason, man. And I just remember my mom, who doesn't watch football, was in the room, and they kept calling. They were like, Victor Cruz, and she's like, who's this Cruz guy? And like, why is he doing so good? And I was like, I'm not too sure, mom, but I was like, that dude's gonna be a star. And sure enough, he
Right.
was, right? Like he
Yeah.
was a solid player for the Giants, right? So that's what I really like about watching preseason. Sometimes it's like you get to see those like hidden gems, right? Like these
Yeah.
guys weren't number 1 picks, they weren't second round picks. Some of these guys were third round, fourth round picks, and you see them out there just balling, right?
Yeah.
And just playing really well. And you're like,
Yeah, because it's their time to prove themselves to make it
yeah.
to the main roster at the beginning of the season.
And it always sucks, man, because like it always sucks to see certain athletes that that it's just like, let's say he's a right side corner, right? He lines up on the right side and they keep running it to the left. Every time he's in the game, they're running it to the left. They're passing
Yeah.
it to the left. And he literally gets like
No
he gets 5
actual
plays.
like
Yeah, he
yeah.
gets 5 plays, gets no chance, and it's just like, 'cause it's part of it is luck, part of it is, skill set and athleticism,
Yeah.
and part of it's like, mental, right? Like, how well
Yeah.
do they know the game and how well can they play and how well can they come out and kind of change plays and everything like that, man. So it's interesting to see, man. I mean, I watched Hard Knocks this week, man, which is they're featuring the Cowboys,
Oh yeah.
the old Cowgirls. You and I both hate the Cowgirls, but whatever. Um, And but yeah, I mean, it was something, get to see that, and I like watching Hard Knocks because it gets to show some of that stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
you get to see players that were first round picks and see how well they get to play, and
Yeah.
then you also get to see guys who were like picked up in the eighth round and they get cut, and you get to see them get cut and they get picked up
Yeah.
by other teams or something like that. So I like the preseason, man. So I'm happy you get to go to a game tonight, man. I wish where I live they had a team that a national team that they could, you know, come out and play or whatever that would play or come out here and play or something like that. But and I'm jealous. So have a good time
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Hopefully. Well, we got kind of way off track.
Oh shit, yeah, man. But no, back. Uh, well, preseason, man, it's just kind of one of those things, man. Football's
Yeah.
back, and it's good to have it back, man. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
um,
excited.
same here. You joined a fantasy league this year or
I
no?
always suck at fantasy football, so it's not worth. It's kind of not worth my time because I always suck at it.
Man, I have some people
Even
at.
with good players, for some reason, I just suck at
I have
when when to
go for it.
play players and when to not play players.
I mean, I always get like I was like I'll pick somebody and they'll get like I'll have draft. I have a great draft, right? Have best players, and then they'll fucking get hurt. And then fucking putting in fucking Joe Schmo in the fucking as a quarterback and shit, and it's just like, all right, this
He
isn't
throws like 6 interceptions.
dude throws 6 interceptions, ends up with a concussion in the middle of a fucking game, and he's out. And I was like, why do I do this to myself every year? It just pisses me off, man. It just stresses me more out. But I might join a team this year. I got some people at work who were talking about creating a league, but like it's a deep league. We're talking like maybe like 12 teams, 10 teams or something like that,
Wow.
man. So yeah, you get teams like that, you're gonna end up picking up like fucking kicker from like the goddamn Bengals or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like the Dolphins kicker or some third string wide receiver that like maybe. And you know what the thing that I love, like this is the thing that I love and I fucking hate too, is when you go to ESPN or Yahoo, right? Like when you're drafting players, like it'll give you this beautiful paragraph about this. Like they have these like fantasy analysts, right? They give you
Yeah.
just like, oh, this is William Smith. And he's had a lot of upside. He's been getting more reps in at practice. He's been catching more balls. He ran for 74 yards last week on only 5 carries. And then they fucking like then the game starts. They give him 2 handoffs. He gets -5 yards, and nothing happens. I'm just like, you fucking built this guy up. Like you made it seem like he was about to be the MVP of the NFL. Like the paragraphs are beautiful, man. Like they literally
Yeah.
have no downside on these people. Like
And then the guy just bombs.
and the guy bombs, man. I'm just like, I fucking hate fantasy football. I was like, this is stupid. Like, why? I was like, who's writing this shit? Let me write to email this person, sir. Your evaluation of this player was trash, man. What the hell's wrong with you? But anyways, man. Speaking of sports and speaking of malice at the palace, who do you think? Right, and this is kind of tying into that, man. One, Derek, I don't ever want you to fight an athlete. I don't ever want you to throw shit in an athlete, man. Don't be wild. Just cheer, yell, curse them out from the stands, but don't throw shit at them or call their mother's names or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, leave that alone. But if in this fictional scenario, man, that you have to fight one athlete, right? It doesn't matter from any sports. What athlete are you choosing to fight? Like, if you had to fight one, man, like it was just like, hey, man, like you have to fight this guy. It's a life or death situation. What athlete are you choosing, and who are you going to fight?
I don't know. I think it might be a tie between your little brother and Bregman.
Oh Jesus. Jose Altuve is my little
Yep.
brother. If people don't know, not really my little brother, but we're both about the same size. And used to Alex Bregman, right?
Yeah.
Well, damn it. You know who I'd want to fight?
I don't know.
Cologne. Is it Alberto or Roberto Cologne?
I'm trying to think.
You remember? You know who that is? He used to be a pitcher for the Yankees. He used to be a pitcher for the Mets. He's like
Oh,
super short, stout
big
guy.
guy. Yeah.
I'd fight him, man. I feel like he doesn't have that much endurance. I just gotta last like 2 or 3 rounds with him. After the third round, then I'll have a chance. But still a professional athlete, so I feel like he got off his couch, drink a beer, and will beat the shit out of me or something. But he has to catch me, man. If he can't catch me, then we're going at it. So,
All right.
but any other athlete, I wouldn't, man. Those guys are just physical specimens. Like, I'm not gonna try to fight LeBron James. That dude's gonna knock me out with his
Right.
pinky toe. I'm not gonna try to fight like
Or Tyson, even at this age.
Oh Jesus, no, man! Have you seen him?
You'd end up like Alan in The Hangover. One punch and just on the floor asleep.
Just asleep, snoring loud as hell, man. Like snoring loud as hell. Snoring loud as hell, or like I wake up, all of a sudden my teeth are in my nose for whatever fucking reason because you punched me that goddamn hard. Like, no, man, like no, not Mike Tyson at this age. I'd probably fight like if I had to fight a boxer. No, I'd probably fight Floyd only because like he's a defensive fighter and like
Jake Paul.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Jake Paul would whoop my ass. That dude is swole.
Only because he has more experience and he's a bigger dude. He's like 6 foot, isn't he?
He's fucking tall. Yeah, man. The dude is tall as shit. Like I wouldn't want to fight him because I'm getting my shit pushed in, bro. Like, no. Maybe in like a
as much of a douchebag as he is.
I mean, I got to give the Kirk. I'm just some regular dude off the street, man. Like I'm getting my ass knocked out. Wait, you remember? I don't know if it was him or his brother, but remember fucking Nate Robinson? You know who Nate Robinson is? He's a former basketball player. Remember he went to sleep. He went night.
But that's a basketball player. Like he's not.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Built to be a boxer.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm equivalent to
like tall and lean.
Yeah, I'm equivalent to Nate Robinson, man. Like
You go
he's a basketball player. He fucking runs.
30 seconds.
Dude, not even. I'm lasting 15 seconds. He's gonna punch me in the face and I'm out. I'm getting knocked the fuck out, man. I was like, maybe if it was a UFC fight, I feel like I got
grapple and wrestle a little.
There it is, bro. We're going to the ground. Let's go. Like I'm not gonna fight you like that. Like I'm gonna try to grapple you. I'm gonna take you down, or he's gonna take me down, and we're gonna grapple. I can grapple, man. I can't. I don't know if I can throw a fucking punch. I might fucking hit him on my hand and fucking break a wrist.
Break your own hand.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So, but yeah, no, I wouldn't fight him. I was like, I'd probably fight like some kid or some shit like that. Where's the 14-year-old kid? I'll whoop his ass. I'll bring a belt. We're going to like.
How many middle schoolers can you take on before they overwhelm you?
I don't know. Have you seen middle schoolers this year? Like these
they're yoked.
Fucking yoked, man. I'll never forget. Like I knew a middle schooler that was like 6'4" and weighed like 240. I was just like.
Looks like a grown man, has a full beard.
Yeah, I'm like, who the fuck fed you, man? Like, did you come out of your mom's vagina, or did they put you in a vat of something in some garage, put steroids in there, and have you grow? Like, what the fuck, man?
What about kindergartners? How many kindergartners could you take out before they overwhelmed you?
It would be an hour fight, and I think I could get at least 70 to 60.
Would you get tired though?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it would be an hour fight because like I have no more stamina. Dude, I'm good though. Like, I'm good. I have good stamina. Like. I could fight for at least 40 minutes.
Before you're overwhelmed.
But that's just all arms. Like I'm one decking these guys, man. Like I'm
kicking them in the face.
But like it would have to be some rules. Like I can't believe we're talking about this, but it would have to be some rules, right? Like, okay, let me.
Not like 30 at once. It's like one at a time every like 10 seconds or something.
I was like, wait. I was like, let's backtrack here. For one, I would never hit a child, guys. So let me just put that on record. I would never hit a child. I don't want to fight kindergartners. This is a fictional situation, a whole hypothetical, not real. Now let's get back to it. Now, like you said, if it's 30 seconds each one, right, and one of them are coming at me, like again, like what are the rules here? Like if I punch them once and they fall down, are they out, or do I have to actually knock these kids out?
I mean, with the kindergartner, if you punch them, they're probably gonna cry and be done. If you hit them once.
Okay, yeah, that's all. In that case, man, if I can punch them and make them cry and they want to quit, I'm going 150. I'm upping my numbers. Cause I go straight shin or some shit like that. Like I would just kick them in the shin and just be like, "Keep crying, keep crying." It's like, keep crying, little bitch, like, and just kick him in the shin or hit him in the elbow or something like that, man. But no, what about you, man? How many do you think you could take?
I don't know. I get tired easier now.
So I get tired easily.
Like after like 15, 20 minutes, I'm gonna be winded. I guess as long as I can keep standing, as long as they don't overwhelm me and like knock me down, I'll be fine for a little bit.
So you say 20 minutes? I think you got more in there of you, man. Just like, just like if you could just like bonk them on the head, like if you just like, bonk them on the head with the fucking, I forgot what the punch.
But what about after a certain time limit, they get like wiffle ball bats? So now they can hit you with wiffle ball bats, so they have a little bit more range.
You know, at first it's not gonna hurt, but it's similar to like, I think after a while, like you're gonna start developing a bruise.
Yeah, if they
And I,
start hit, if they
and
keep
you
hitting in the same
and you
spot
know they're short, man, so they're gonna keep hitting you in the same
in the
spot.
in the shin.
In the
They keep-
fucking in the shin, in the hip,
After
man.
a couple of hits in the shin, you're gonna be like, you're gonna be ready to cry.
But do I get weapons? Like do I get like fucking brass knuckles or some shit? Like after
Yeah.
150th, do I hit the next level and they're just like, "All right, bro, here's some knuckles. Fuck them up." Or something like that. Or
I
give me a
I think
bat or something.
we got way off
It's all
topic.
good, man. Think of like Step Brothers. Remember the end of Step Brothers?
Yeah,
They come down in the helicopter and they jump down and they're just beating the shit out of all the kids. That's how it
yeah.
would be, man. I don't know. Like I think I have a solid chance. Like I feel like I'm in that good of a shape, or like that decent of shape that I could last for an hour. However many kids want to fight me in an hour, let's go. I would take them on. I was like, let's do this.
should we move on to PS exclusives?
Yeah, let's go to PS exclusives, man. All right, so IGN recently released a list of the most popular or the best PlayStation exclusives. In your opinion, man, what are some of the best exclusives? If you can give me a 1 to 3, we'll do your best top 3 PlayStation exclusives.
I would say the two recent Spider-Mans,
Okay.
the God of War series,
So Spider-Man is 3, God of War is 2. Is that
and
what
the
you're saying?
Uncharted. Well, I don't know if it'd necessarily be that order, but Uncharted would be up there too.
Okay. You're like,
I don't know. I think maybe God of War might be one because I love God of War. The story's awesome.
okay. So, um,
I'd say probably God of War, Spider Man, and then Uncharted.
God of War, Spider-Man, and then Uncharted. Uncharted being number 3.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good. That's a good choice, and I think it doesn't deviate too much from the list. But here's the top 10 right now. I'm gonna run through the top 10 real quick, or the top 5, and then we can kind of sit here and talk about like or I'll run through the last 5, so 10 through 5, and then from 5 to 1, we'll actually try to discuss some of them right
all
now.
right.
So number 10 is Gran Turismo. Number 9 is Infamous. Which I really wish they kind of bring that back, man. Number 8 is Ratchet and Clank.
Hmm.
Number 7, Shadow of Colossus. Number
Okay.
6 is Horizon Zero Dawn, and I think with that sequel coming out, man, it's gonna be
Yeah, that'll
it's
move
gonna
up
be
the list.
yeah. Number 5, Ghost of Tsushima,
Oh wow.
which I have to agree with number 5, man. I think that's if
Yeah, that's
that's
a solid number 5.
if that one's going to continue to be a number 5, or sorry, not be number 5, if that one's going to continue to be a PlayStation exclusive, and if they give us a sequel, right? At
Yeah.
some point they give us a sequel, right? I think that's going to continue to be like a solid player within the exclusive realm, right?
So the last Gran Turismo I played was the one on PlayStation 3. And I liked it. I had a good time playing Gran Turismo, but I haven't played any since. I never played any Infamous series, and I've never played any of the Ratchet and Clank.
I think I played like a demo of Ratchet and Clank on one of the old PlayStations, where you can
Yeah,
get demos and stuff.
yeah. When they used to come with a demo disc.
And yeah, and I think they recently released like a newer version, and I really want to play that one.
Yeah,
I heard the graphics on it. Again, I don't know much about the series, and kind of what the story is, but at least the graphics looked really good. And I think with
yeah,
that PS5, man, we're still waiting for like that game to
yeah,
really be like that PlayStation 5 exclusive plays up. It can really play to the graphics
yeah,
and the capabilities of PS5. That's what we're waiting for, and I think that Ratchet and Clank is going to be one of those and I think the newest one got really good reviews on it too. So.
yeah.
And then Horizon Zero Dawn. I have to play it at some point. I need to just shut up. Number 4, Uncharted. And again, this is games exclusively, but I kind of changed it for like game, like franchises.
Yeah,
But this one said Uncharted 2: Among Thieves. I remember that was the first Uncharted game that I played. Was number
yeah.
2. I didn't play the first one, and I just remember number 2 blew my socks off, man. Like, you remember how it started?
I mean, it's been a while since I played that because they're on what 4 now.
Yes. So the way
So,
that number 2 started, man, is like you're in a train and it's hanging off a mountain.
oh
And you
yeah,
wake up and you're just kind of like, oh shit. And I just remember like he would have to climb up, and as
yeah,
he's climbing, it's falling, and you have to
yeah,
run faster and stuff like that. And I again just playing that game and it like vibrating in my hands and just like
yeah,
it was awesome. Like I felt like I was a character, and I think that's a really cool thing about like adventure games or just story based games, role playing games, however you want to call it. compared to movies sometimes is like I don't think games get enough recognition. They get some recognition for their storyline, and they do eventually make them into movies, but I just don't. I don't know. Sometimes I don't think sometimes it translates very well because it's a lot more immersive,
Yeah.
right? Like you're the one opening the door, you're the one being
Yeah.
chased
Yep.
by like trucks and stuff, and you have to run down this alley and jump over things and climb on things as a helicopter's fucking shooting at you. You know, like
Yeah.
it almost makes you feel like you're that character without actually being that character. And I think with VR, if they can start playing into that, man, it's gonna get scary in a good way,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and that's what everybody's waiting for. They're waiting for VR to kind of take over it and be that new movie set within video games, you know. So,
Yeah. Yep.
but it's getting closer. But Uncharted 2, man, great game. If I remember that one correctly, the ending of it was a little weird because, like, of course, there was always like that mystical, like, there's like a mystical aspect of it or magic
Yeah.
aspect, and then like you get in and you go into like this different realm, and then there's these people who are like purple or something. They're big, strong people or something, and I just remember you have to like run from them. It was good game, good story. I really liked the story. My first introduction to the series was awesome. Number three was Marvel Spider-Man, so you called it. Like that was number three on their list. There's one that you didn't mention that is on the list is the Last of Us series.
Oh yeah. I kind of.
Yeah, that was number two, and then their number one is God of War, man. So,
Yeah.
which God of War, man, that's a game that it's like been great since the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I remember playing the second one. I don't think I ever played the first one, but I remember playing the second one, the third one, and just being like, as a kid, you're not supposed to be playing those games. Like
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be playing them, but like you're like fucking ripping monsters in half and you're like stabbing them and fucking like just eviscerating them.
Yeah.
And it was awesome, man. It was great. Like it was one of those stories. And it was cool that it had the mythology of it, right? Like you get to
Yeah.
fight against Zeus at some point and fight
Yeah. That
all.
was you're fighting Greek gods. That's awesome.
That's fucking awesome. It's just like when have you had a character that was able to have the ability to fight like gods,
Yeah.
like you're fighting a god now, right? And
Yeah.
but I love that story, and I love how the most recent one is transitioned into like the Norse mythology, right? And
Yeah. Yep.
um, and kind of attacking that, not attacking, but kind of going after that, like um, just that Viking mythology, right? And kind of changing it up, going from Greek to that. And I think that the series is going to continue to kind of go after that, and maybe in the next 10 to 15 years they go after a different mythology, right? So,
Yeah.
is there a mythology that you would love for them to kind of go after?
I don't know what else they could go to because I don't know if there's like if they're sticking to a strict timeline. Maybe like ancient Egypt or something like that. The
Ooh,
ancient Egyptian gods,
that
or
would be
maybe
really
like
cool.
Incan gods or something like that,
Oh shit,
or
you're
Native
right.
American gods.
Yeah, those are some really cool ones, man. I would love to kind of see that, or even like not as probably as recognized, but like the like Indians, like people from India, like some of that mythology and stuff, like
Oh
the
yeah,
Bhagavad
yeah,
Gita and stuff, and just like these huge like epic battles that they describe in some of their like
yeah,
you know early mythos and mythology and stuff. So I think those would be really cool. I don't know how I would think it'd be pretty cool to kind of see some medieval stuff. Um, I think that'd be kind of like a cool addition. Again, I know there's not too much mythos, but maybe they could have something where he has to fight like King Arthur or something like that, right?
yeah,
And kind of bring in that like knighthood and knighthood within his realm and stuff. I think those would be some cool mythology. But I think you also offered some really cool ones. So I think that gives them the ability to kind of really venture out. Now, of course, like you
yeah.
said, maybe they got to like these games take a lot of money to produce, right? And a
Oh yeah,
lot of time and a lot of effort. So I know like in the timeline, like I think everything we suggested they could potentially touch, but I think that they'd have to be making games after you and I are way gone from here,
oh yeah,
um, and kind of see where they're going. But I do think that you know that it's a good game, great story, love the voice acting in it. Like I'm almost like the guy who voices like Kratos. I hope that guy lives forever. Like, and I hope he gets his due pay. Similar to like what is the guy's name like Vader's voice.
oh James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones, like that guy. That guy's only gonna live for so long, and like, his voice, I would assume like probably changes is going to change or something like as it gets older. Like,
Yeah.
but you got to make sure like to keep those voices. So hopefully they got a lot of stuff recorded and um they pay him really well and the story continues, man. See, I'm excited to
Yeah.
see where it goes. But we'll see. We'll see how that we'll see how it goes. But yeah, man, those are the some of the PlayStation exclusives that they said that were in that list. And yours again, you said that it would be
God of
um,
War,
God of War,
Spider
Spider
Man,
Man,
and Uncharted.
and Uncharted. Which again, we're all on here, right? Like all three of them are really good. Um, one of the ones that again used to be exclusive, which I don't know if a lot of people remember, but what was another game that was exclusive that eventually switched over to Xbox, Derek?
Is it the Grand Theft Auto series?
Grand Theft Auto series, man.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I never forget when that happened, and I was like, the travesty. How dare they?
Oh, you know what? Like, is even worse for me is the MLB series is now on Xbox. Like,
A lot of people were
the
upset about
studio
that.
that makes MLB the show is owned by Sony. Like, why would they do that to me? I'm like, what the hell?
I think they're trying to bridge the gap, man. Like I think they're trying to make peace amongst them. Like I think that, and it sucks because in my opinion, I think that having that competitiveness makes each other better,
Yeah.
right? Like if you have somebody to compete with, you're gonna do your best to make sure that you bring the best product you can.
Yeah.
Where if you start making too much peace, then you'll just start talking to each other. And it's like, oh, I think I'm going to add this. I think I'm going to do this. All right, cool. Let's just put out a basic system, not one up each other, and just
Yeah.
make some awesome games or whatever. Which would be cool, but at the same time, like you're not innovating. You're not making things
Yeah.
better and stuff. But that is annoying. I know that kind of upset a lot of people not being able to, or for it not being exclusive. And I didn't
Yeah.
even realize, and I didn't know that the company was owned by Sony. So that's definitely an interesting take.
Yeah.
It makes me
And
think that.
now with um Microsoft buying the company that owns Bethesda, like, I mean, I'm not a huge Bethesda fan. I bought Skyrim like years after it came out, so it wasn't, I paid like $10 at GameStop,
Yeah.
and then I have like one of the Fallout games. So it's not like I play a huge catalog from them, but there's one game that they got coming out. I think in 2022 maybe, that it's a space exploration game
Okay.
that looks really cool. And now, like, I don't think I would go out of my way to track down an Xbox just for it.
No, no, I got you. Yeah, no, I can honestly say I don't think I've played many Bethesda games, and I've had people recommend them to me all the time,
Yeah,
like whether it's Skyrim, whether it's Fallout, um, or whatever other games that they kind of produce and stuff. Like I don't think I've ever played any of them, and not that it just I don't know if it really appeals to me sometimes. And I know people are really excited about the most recent Fallout, which is again it's been out for years now, but that one came out, people were like, ah, this game sucks, so
yeah,
um, and I've heard it has some it's a cool storyline and kind of just like what you can do within the game. But no, man, I don't know if they've ever necessarily like appealed to me. Skyrim did appeal to me, but I think the game is so old now that I don't know that it needs to be updated at this point. I think
yeah. I
so
haven't played it in years. I don't even know how it looks now. And there's so much, like, it's like a never ending game almost. Like, I don't think I'm like even like a smidge of the way through it because I always got sidetracked on side quests. Like, you can
yeah,
go, there's so much you can go and do aside from the main story that
yeah.
you could play that game for years and years and years.
And then we're like complaining that about that. I mean, not complaining, but we're over here like making it a thing, but it's not really a thing. Like
Yeah,
I think that's what we want in games, right? We want to go in there and play a game, and we want it to be endless to an extent, right? But
yeah,
not being adults, right? Like it's harder to kind of do those things sometimes. It's harder to kind of like, all right, I'm going to dedicate 54 hours to this game when you got 10 million other things you have to do. Like as a
yeah,
kid, man, it was fantastic. Like fuck, you get home from school, I'm on the game from like, maybe 3:30 or 4 o'clock until like 10 p.m. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like from 4 to 10, I'm playing video games and going to bed and going to school the next day. And then like on
yeah,
Saturday and Sunday, I wake up, fuck man, where am I at? I'm at Blockbuster getting the game and I'm playing it from morning till night. You
yeah.
know? Um, and then I might go to church on Sunday, might not go to church on Sunday, and I'm gonna sit there and play it all day on Sunday,
I
and hope
think that's
and hope to get
that's
to beat it.
that's kind of why I've been drawn out playing Ghost of Tsushima, so I don't finish it too quick. But I mean, I've been playing this game since it came out, and I'm just now close to the end. So
But the
But
good thing,
that's one of those games where like I would I would love to keep playing because it's fun. It's a fun game.
no, me too. And I wouldn't be surprised if you complete it, like if you get the 100% and
Oh, I
stuff,
don't think I'm
right?
gonna do all that. There's so much to find.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff, man. Um, I think you kind of talked about it beforehand. The DLC, man. Are you thinking about getting it?
I'll probably get it. Luckily, I only have to pay for the upgrade, I guess,
Hmm.
because I have it I already own the game, so I think I only have to pay for the upgrade,
So we don't have
which
to pay the full 69.99 then.
it's still $30 though, but
Oh shit.
I guess that's better than 70.
True. I mean, but now I think about it, man. How much are like DLCs? Like
Yeah.
think about something like, you know,
Well, I
like
think
Fortnite
this
or Call of Duty who bought when you buy the seasons. That's like 10 to
yeah.
$5 that you're spending fucking every few weeks. So it eventually comes up to $30, right?
And I think this like adds some stuff for PS5 like the haptic feedback and all that.
Oh, that's pretty cool. The haptic feedback, and then also like I think it's supposed to upgrade the graphics and stuff too,
Yeah.
right? Like now
Yeah.
it's like 4K and a bunch of other stuff in there too,
Yeah.
which is great. But I mean, I get it. Like, hey, look, man, it's an independent game, right? Like, it's not one of those games that's based off like multiple franchises. It's a new game. Like, I'm willing to support the game for that aspect, right? Like, 30
Yeah.
bucks is a little steep, but I'm willing to pay 30 bucks if it's gonna, have them to continue to bring out new content and better content, and then hopefully in the future bring out better games as well.
Yeah.
So especially sequels or whatever.
I got so much backlog that I can't get through. Every time they add stuff to it, it just makes my backlog fall even farther behind.
Yeah.
So, because like I just the summer sales going on right now.
Yes, it is. I saw a few games. I think the show. Speaking of baseball, right? I think the show was like 40 bucks instead of 60, and I was like tempted to possibly pick it up.
Well, I just bought Little Nightmares 2 um like last week or something like that, or the week before.
How much was
So
that one?
so what's weird is like to buy the standalone and the expansion separately was less than buying the deluxe that came with the standalone.
Wait,
Out of
what?
t- so like the core game
Hmm.
and then the DLC, I bought them separately because it was less than buying the deluxe version that came with the DLC and the full game.
Oh, gotcha. But I wonder with the deluxe version if they offered just like maybe one or two things more,
So
or
it's
if it
like
was like,
there's like a DLC level and like some other like aesthetic stuff like costumes or something like that.
oh, see, that's not needed.
And I
Like
think
unless
like
you
a
want it, but no.
digital version of the soundtrack or something.
Okay, no, 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 I'm
Yeah.
good.
But I think even if you buy the DLC separate, it still comes with all that. So I
Really?
still get all the same stuff that came in the deluxe version, and I save, and it wasn't a lot, maybe like $6, but the principle's there is like, why didn't you match the deluxe version with buying both pieces separate?
It makes me think of like retail companies whenever when they're just like, hey, you want to buy these pair of pants? They're $100. But today the price is going to be, 40 like 45.99, right?
Yeah,
And then the next week they're like they're 50% off. So now they're, 50 bucks instead of 45 that they were, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
and people think they're getting better deal
yeah,
when they could have just bought it the week before for $5 cheaper or something like
yeah,
that. So I wonder if it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, hey, we'll just offer it this way so that you think you're saving money, but you're not saving money.
yeah. I guess it's simpler to just like put one thing in your cart as opposed to putting two things on your cart and then doing the math. Because
Oh, for sure.
I did the math on my own to figure it out. Like this is cheaper. Why would I pay the other price?
Of course. So
Even
that's
though it would have been easier to just
yeah.
put one thing in, hit buy instead of buying one thing and then going back and buying the other thing.
Oh, true. True. Convenience, I guess is what you're saying. Just making it more convenient
Exactly.
for the person. All right, but that makes it, yeah, because I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, how many times have I sit here and I'm just like, all right, man, I'm gonna go get some food today, and then I look at DoorDash and I'm just like, nah, I'm just gonna spend that extra money. You know what I mean? Where
Someone bring it to me.
yeah, just bring it to me. Like I'm fucking lazy. Like it's
Yeah.
convenient sometimes just makes it that much better. So kind of going from there, you're just like, fuck it. Like just order it and I'll be fine kind of thing.
Right.
So um But yeah, so no, I didn't remember. Well, you know what other games are on there? I know there wasn't any other games that I was just kind of like wanted to jump at that I was like, oh, I absolutely want this. The only one that I saw for sure was like the show that was like, you know, $40 cheaper or something, or
Yeah,
$20 cheaper, and I was just like, oh, like maybe I'll pick that up or something. But
yeah,
even then, like, there's only one person I know that plays the game, and they're really good at it. So I was just like, I could either play the game, buy it, we could play with my friend, and he can kick my ass every time, or I could play by myself because I still do find it entertaining. Like they have
yeah.
like the
The
like
road to the show.
road to the show and just like different events and stuff that you can kind of participate that happen during the week.
Yeah,
Like if somebody had a walk off, you get like 4 tries to try to do this, mimic the same scenario. Like I always
yeah.
thought that was pretty cool.
I I didn't buy it this year's. I don't even know if I bought last year's. I think the last one I bought was like 2019.
Oh shit. Yeah, I do have last year's. I remember there was one night, man, like it was sometimes you do some shit and then you're just like, like you play a video game and you get to a part and you could beat it
Yeah,
and you keep getting close and you just like you're like, I have to beat it. There's one time I was doing one of those I forgot what they're called, man, but I'm gonna call them an event, right? And it was like an event. And it was like I had to get um I had to get a triple, a double, and like hit a home. No. I think I had like this. There was an athlete that, or there's a baseball player that hit like multiple home runs, and like I think he had like two, like he had a back-to-back home run, like at bats, and he had back-to-back home runs, and then um, I think you had like a certain amount of times. You had to get certain amount of home runs in like over a 4 game span or something like
yeah.
that, or like a 6 game span, and I would get like I would need one more home run, and I'd have like 3 games left and I would like single, double, single, like
I
hit the
just couldn't
wall,
get it.
dude, and I just couldn't get it. And I remember like I started it like at 10 p.m. It's 4 a.m. and I need to get up in the next 3 hours because I just would not give up. And I finally fucking did it. And I was like, why am I staying up? And I think that was the last time I picked the game up. Like I was just like, I can't be sitting here playing this game until fucking midnight or 3 a.m., 4 a.m. on a work night. Like I can't be doing this, man. But I got a little ahead of myself. I should have chilled, man. But I did it. But it's what it is. It is what it is. These games sometimes get addicted, man. And I'm just like, I can't stop this. I'm gonna keep playing. And I couldn't do it,
Right.
man. So.
Yeah,
Um,
I get that way too, where I'm like, I'm just gonna finish this mission and then I'm gonna turn the game off. And like 3 more missions later, I'm like, why am I still playing?
every time, man. But no, kind of backtracking here a little bit. Besides, with the PlayStation exclusives, and kind of changing from that into the next topic of some shows we've been watching recently, right? I know I watched the documentary Malice at the Palace. We talked about the PlayStation exclusives. One of the shows I watched recently, and I think you watched it too, was the What If episode with Captain Carter.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it's a cool concept, and it fits into everything that's going on right now with Marvel, with the multiverse and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good episode, and I'm excited to see what happens next with the next episode.
Did you like the graphics? Do you like the way that it aesthetically, like, again, it reminded me of like a Telltale video game.
Yeah, I liked it. And I think it's the same way that, and I've been talking about it before, and I don't know if you've watched it, but that Star Wars Bad Batch series, I think it's similar in like graphic style.
Okay. I don't mind the graphic style. It again, like I said, it reminds me of like a Telltale game or something.
Yeah,
Just a little bit more animation where sometimes those can be like, it almost seems like it's on a piece of paper, and which it
yeah,
is, right? And they're just kind of moving like the characters behind or so.
yeah,
It looks very old school, but
yeah,
also like new age. Um, one of the reviews I read, it was saying that the voice acting doesn't match up sometimes to the lips, and I noticed it a little bit. I didn't
yeah,
notice it too much. Like I'm an idiot, man. I don't pay attention to the details that much. But they were talking about how like the voice sometimes. So maybe like next time you watch it, maybe pay attention. But I do like the fact that she was an ass kicker, man, and she was kicking the
yeah,
shit out of people, man. Like she would go in there and like I swear she like literally almost bounced somebody on her foot like a soccer ball.
yeah,
Like it was awesome to see that character, and especially like a female character, right? Come out
yeah,
and just be that badass. Like yes, the suit is tight on her, but it's not like revealing, right? It's not
yeah,
showing her breast or like her butt or whatever. Like she got the suit on, she has a shield, and she's kicking some ass,
yeah.
and she's trying to do it for America.
And I
Not
thought it
America,
was
sorry,
cool that
for Britain, sorry.
Tony Stark built an Iron Man suit for Steve Rogers. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, me too. Howard Stark.
Howard Stark. Howard, correct.
Yeah. But no, man. Yeah, me too. Like, I thought that was really cool, and it makes me think like, what if, right? Like, if Howard had a son, or he's gonna have a son, right? Like, or if he does have a son, or is gonna have a son. I can't remember if they mentioned it in the episode or not. Like, would he not be Iron Man anymore? Would it now be Steve Rogers?
Or it could be that that's where, because now that Steve, he's a regular person, he's going to die long before even Peggy would.
Yeah.
Like he if he was in his early 20s during World War II, by the time Tony Stark
70
comes,
years later, he'd be in his 90s or dead.
yeah, it gets to the point where he's going to build an Iron Man suit. It's the only thing left of that will be his dad's plans. And to me, that I think that that could tie into that's where Tony gets the idea of the Iron Man suit, because he finds his dad's old plans for the suit that he built for Steve.
Oh, okay. So he doesn't have to come up with it to save himself from being in some
Whoever it was that kidnapped him, or he could already know that those plans exist, and like through memory draw off those plans to build his own suit.
But do you think he would have created his own suit? Because like before, remember he was selling like missiles and stuff, right? That was kind of Iron Man
Yeah,
1, right? He was selling missiles to like just whoever. He was pretty much like an arms dealer,
arms
right?
dealer.
Like he was just selling like weapons and stuff like that to people. But do you think at this point he'd be selling soldiers, or not soldiers, but selling suits?
Yeah, it could be already advanced to the point where they're already making the suits, kind of like what Hammer tried to do in the second Iron Man.
Yeah, or similar to like, remember he wanted to kind of deploy all these soldiers or all the suits around the world to protect it from it. So
Yeah,
maybe certain incidents. I don't know. Again, that's the cool the cool thing about the what if, right? There's a lot of hypotheticals, but I,
yeah,
I like to think that Howard only perfected the suit even further, and that Steve was remembered as Iron Man, and that maybe Tony would be like the Iron Patriot or something,
yeah.
right? Or maybe he's kind of like a different person. Apparently, Hawkeye stays Hawkeye.
In this What If series,
Yeah, because like remember he showed
I
up
thought
with
it was going to be as. I guess that's in the Hawkeye series that's coming out, where it's his daughter takes over, isn't it?
in the series, but I mean like in this universe, right? Like it's
Still
uh
Hawkeye,
it's still Hawkeye
still
because remember like
still Clinton Barton.
it's still Clinton Barton because Samuel L. Jackson, right? Nick Fury comes in at the end of the episode. Spoilers, right? It comes in at the end of the episode and he's like, "Hey, we've been waiting for you. We wanted to talk to you or whatever." And then Jeremy Renner's character, Clinton, or Hawkeye, like he's there with him, and he stays the
Oh
same.
yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm
I
saying is
forgot
like,
about that.
like it makes me think it's like, oh, maybe he stays the same, like he
Yeah.
doesn't change. And
Well,
Nick
in that
Fury,
universe, anyway.
and I honestly wish Nick Fury would have changed. Like I wish it would have been a
Yeah.
different person. Like if you're gonna do that much of a change, but I guess they have to keep it like some people the same. Like Bucky was
Yeah.
the same,
Yeah.
right? Like
But then he didn't fall off the train, so he
oh, that's
doesn't become
true.
Winter Soldier.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, no, you have a point. Like he didn't change either. And then, oh, that's right. But yeah, anyways, I would have liked to see somebody else play Nick Fury. But I guess
Yeah.
Sam Jackson just has a copyright on that or something, a
Yeah.
trademark.
Right.
Like he can't.
Yeah.
Nobody else can be
No
that
one else
person
can be Nick Fury.
besides him. So, um, but no, I think that would have been a really cool like you see something different. Is there, I think the next episode I told you, I believe it's supposed to be Black Panther as one of the members of the Guardians of the Galaxy or the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm intrigued to kind of see how that happens. Is like maybe does he get taken from Wakanda as a kid, and
Yeah.
then as his mom dies and now he becomes that person or whatever? Is he funny? Is he not funny? I don't know, man. It's interesting. That's the whole point of What If, right? You get to see
Yeah.
different alternatives. And come on, man, how badass is Jeffrey Wright? You know who Jeffrey Wright is?
Sounds familiar.
He's the Watcher. He does the voice for the Watcher.
Oh, okay.
The guy who's the narrator. He
Yeah.
is the only place I can think of him, and I know he's been in a lot of movies, is from Westworld. He's Arnold.
Oh yeah.
Jeffrey Wright. So yeah,
Yeah.
Jeffrey Wright is the narrator, man. He's badass. I love his voice. Um, he's kind of slowly becoming one of those people that like, hey, if anybody can narrate your life, who would you want to narrate your life, right? Like people used to say like, um, James Earl Jones or like Morgan Freeman. For me, like
Yeah.
Jeffrey Wright is one of the people, and another person that's slowly becoming another person is freaking Matthew McConaughey. I don't want him to narrate my life. I just want him to
Right.
come in and be like, all right, all right, all right, or something like that. So
One of
um,
his catch his his signature lines or whatever.
Yeah, one of his signature lines for sure, man. So I think that he'd be a pretty cool person to kind of be or whatever. So or like he could narrate my life. He's like, Joseph woke up this morning out of bed or whatever. I don't know,
Yeah,
man. I
yeah.
don't know. So, but yeah, so I think he'd be a cool character or somebody cool to kind of, um, or so, not cool character, somebody to do that kind of things. One final question, that I have for you, man, and then we could possibly wrap this up um, is there a what if character that you would love to maybe get some shine, right? Or is there a character that you would have loved to kind of maybe altered or one that you would like to see? And it could be DC or Marvel. Is there a character that you would love to kind of be in the universe and be a little different or something like that, or be a different person or anything like that?
Um, I don't know. Maybe because they went through similar programs, swap Deadpool and Wolverine. So like Wolverine is like
Oh
always
shit,
cracking wise and breaking the fourth wall, and
dude.
then Deadpool's more serious.
Dude, love it. Love it. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Obviously, they would never do that, but
Yeah,
that would be fucking awesome. I would be a big fan. You got this great response. I was thinking about this question, and I don't even want to tell you who I would want to be a superhero, but the one person I would want to be a superhero, I would want Lewis from Ant-Man, the Hispanic guy,
oh yeah,
to be Ant-Man, and I would want Paul Rudd to be the person telling the stories, or
yeah,
something like that, man.
yeah.
I would have loved to see that. Or I would love to see kind of like a what if scenario of Bruce Wayne's parents not dying.
That'd be interesting too, because then does he even become Batman at that point?
That was the thing that kind of motivated him to like he wanted to be like the savior of Gotham, right? And he wanted to
Yeah,
kind of change the violence and stuff like that. Obviously, the violence was still going on, but like would he become Two Face? I would love to see Bruce Wayne as Two Face.
that'd be pretty neat too.
I would
That's a
love
good one.
I would have loved to see like him be Two Face. Commissioner Gordon, I would have loved to see him be the Joker. I think that would have been kind of like a cool play on that. Or
Yeah, so
Alfred,
like
or
he's
Alfred or
still
something.
they still operate as themselves, but in like at night or whatever, like when you don't see him, he's like a villain.
Yeah. Oh
Kind of
yeah.
like how Dexter during the day he works for the Miami Metro Police Department, and at night he's out
Yeah.
murdering people.
Exactly.
So like
Exactly.
during the day, Commissioner Gordon is running the police department, and at night he's going out and like causing havoc.
Oh shit. I
Kind of like
mean,
making work for yourself, I guess.
oh no, for sure. Maybe they play those different roles, right? Like
Yeah,
one's a crime fighter during the day, but also a crime creator at night or something.
yeah, yeah.
And he's just taking out the bad guys. Like he's taking out the bad guys to only further his career or something like that.
Maybe we need to write this.
Oh, dude, stop, stop. We can make this happen.
Copyright, copyright.
Copyright. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nobody steal our
No one
shit.
else can
Fuck
take
you
this
guys.
idea.
But no, I think that'd be a kind of a cool concept to do something like that, man. Um, but yeah, although sorry. I know that I said that was the last question I had for you. I actually have one more, man. Rick and Morty, did you watch the newest episode? Yes or no?
Hell yeah, I did. This whole season has probably been one of the best seasons,
Oh, I'd
episode
agree.
wise. Like other seasons have had their great episodes, but so far, I can almost say that every episode in this season has been like above my expectations.
There isn't any filler episodes. Like you know how you watch season like 1 through 4, and then there's an episode where you're like, I like this episode, but I could skip it.
Yeah,
Like I think I loved, and I think you and I loved the Pickle Rick episode, but now like if I'm watching the seasons, like I kind of want to skip it. You
yeah.
know that one or the Mind Blowers.
The
I
Morty's mind blowers.
Yeah, like that one. That was a cool episode, but I just wasn't a huge fan of the episode. Like I
Yeah.
like it, like I'd still find it entertaining, but it's just like that's another one where if I could skip, I probably would.
And it's funny that he references. He's like, what are you worried about, Pickle Rick 2? Or it's like, if I want to do Pickle Rick 2, I'll do Pickle Rick 2.
Yeah, so he references, and I think they also do the Mind Blowers thing too. Like I think they make a reference in one of the
Yeah,
episodes about it. Like they call back to Mind Blowers. They're like, oh yeah, this isn't Mind Blowers. We're not gonna do that this episode or something like that, right?
yeah.
I
And they made it like this episode, and I think it's part of the theme of this season. It's like very deep, like emotionally and like
Yeah.
mentally. It's like deeper than other seasons have been in the past. Like he like you're seeing Bird Person like have to let go of his past, have to let go of was
Yeah.
it Tammy? Is that her name?
Yep. Tammy.
Like at the end of the episode, he has to let Tammy go in order to like come back and be able to take care of his daughter that he had no idea about.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. Yeah, in the episode, like he goes into the room and they have like the bird person, and what she's in jail, I think in the after credit scene or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or no, it's like I guess it's more like juvie or something.
Yeah, it was like juvie or something like
Yeah,
that. But yeah, I totally forgot. I forgot about that. But yeah, no, man, I think this is really like we're finding that like a lot of things about Rick. Like it's definitely centered a lot more around him, and
yeah,
and I kind of like that. Like it's not like him and Morty. It's not him and like all these other characters. It's like we're finding like internally who he is
yeah,
and what he loves, what he doesn't love, and what he and just it's very introspective in a lot of ways for all the characters. Right, or not
yeah,
all the characters, but specifically him, but also like Morty, because I forgot about the love episode where he, with the Captain, Captain Planet girl or whatever. Like,
yeah, yeah,
he fell in love with her and was like, nah. But yeah, no, man, like it's an interesting take on just a lot of things, and there's a lot of themes here that we can cover and everything. I have to go back and rewatch the episode, but no, it was good, man. It was good. I love the whole. I'm glad. How much of an impact has Inception left on people's impressions now?
right.
Like the movie Inception, Christopher Nolan comes up with this idea, and like it was so great that it's being used so much.
Yeah,
Like it's. I think that I think honestly, like, and they did it in one of the I think the first episode or one of the earlier episodes in the like season one, like the Freddy Krueger one,
yeah. Where they went into the
like
dreams of the math teacher.
right, and it's like they kind of explain the idea of like, oh, if you die in your dreams, you die in real life, but also like things that happen in your dream seem a lot longer than what happened in reality. And I
Yeah,
want to say, man, I could have sworn like they kind of maybe touched on that in some of the like the Freddy films, right? Like
yeah,
it was like the time frame is a little bit different.
yeah,
Because like they would take a nap or they would take a nap and it was like all these extravagant and things like big things happen and shit, and then it's just like they would wake up and it was just like, oh shit, it was like I took a 5 minute nap or something like that,
yeah,
So um but anyways, it just kind of makes me make you think like, man, Inception just had such a huge impact on just like from a pop culture reference or pop culture aspect that like everybody uses it now or does it
yeah,
right or
yeah,
uses it in some way or some fashion, right? So
yeah,
um I think that's cool. I'm glad that they kind of did that, and it was sucked to see at the end that Rick did all that and Bird Person was just like, man, I can't
I
be
got to
around you right
bounce.
now.
Yeah,
I gotta go. I gotta leave you, right? And but it's cool that Rick did all that to bring his best friends back, and I think he knows that he can be his best friend again.
yeah. And
So
I think there might not be an episode for like 2 weeks now.
the next episode is gonna be on September 5th, I believe, and it's
So
gonna
like
be an
3 weeks.
and it's gonna be an hour long.
Oh wow.
It's gonna be an hour long episode, which I'm like,
But it's not the season finale, is it? Isn't
it
there like
is
two
it.
more episodes?
Nah, man, I think it's the season finale.
Oh, because I thought they. What was this last episode? Was that 8?
I thought that was 9. I could do a quick
Because I
Google
thought they
search
were
real
supposed to
quick.
be 10 episodes.
Let's see, Rick and Morty season 5. Um, do. Yep, so that was 8, and I guess I can't really see. Oh, I guess on Rotten Tomatoes it has 100% score based on 20 reviews though. It's only 20 reviews.
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be 10 episodes.
Oh, so I guess the last season or the last episode is going to be like 2 episodes then put into one possibly.
Let's see.
Because I saw something recently. So yeah. Oh yeah. So Rick and Morty season 5 finale is being delayed. This is a day ago in this article. Um, yeah, it'll be the first double linked episode in the show's history.
So
Yeah, it has been
episode
pushed
9
back.
and 10. One is going to be called Forgetting Sarek Mortshaw, and the other one's going to be Rick Marai Jack.
Okay. Oh, I guess it's gonna be like Samurai Jack.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, and then like the next episode they have like the spin the wheel thing.
So yeah, maybe. So I guess the season finale will probably be an hour long.
Yep, I think that's what they're talking about here. And yeah, so like yeah, that's episode. But yeah, I guess I just like you said, I think they're gonna put it into 2 episodes into one, but it's gonna be an hour long. But September 5th, they
Yeah,
delayed it, so it makes me think if they're making them still or
maybe.
something. Like I don't know why they would delay it.
Oh, I think because this Sunday there's some season finale or something else, so they're playing all the episodes from that season of whatever show all day up until the
Mm.
season finale.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's this week, but I don't know about like the next couple weeks.
I
What the
wonder if because
reasoning?
it's like Labor Day weekend, maybe
Maybe
people are
that
gonna
could
be
be it
home
too. Yeah,
and they want them to kind of enjoy it or
yeah,
whatever. So take the weekend off or something like that. So have time to watch it possibly.
yeah.
So I don't know. They do those kind of things, um,
Yep.
but yeah, but that's gonna be the end of this episode. So Derek, man, I want to say thank you again for having me on. Glad to be here. Justin, get your ass on this. Get your ass on here, man. We gotta record with you, brother. Um,
Right.
and
And um go ahead. What were you gonna
Oh
say?
no, I was gonna say, yeah, man. So as always, my comment at the end is, I'm still searching for him. One of these days, I'll bring Bigfoot onto this podcast, and we'll all have a chat about how he keeps trying to fucking, what is it? Is it Slim Jims or what's
Oh,
the beef jerky?
yeah, the beef
Yeah, the
jerky.
beef jerky. Yeah, I'll bring some beef jerky for all of us to share and shit like that, and quit fucking beating the shit out of people because they hit you with stuff or whatever. Or they trick them. I don't know. Those commercials are fantastic. Anyways, man, yeah, it's always good, man. Good topics today.
So what one thing I wanted to say is we added some more merch to the website. So please check it out. So we added a sweatshirt and a long sleeve tee with the We Three Bros logo. So yeah, if you want to support us and you like what we put out, you like our content, yeah, that's one of the best ways to support us is to buy some merch. There's two t-shirts on there and then a tote bag and a mug. Probably not as cool as like the shirts, but either way, check it out, we3bros.com, and just look through the pages. There's a merch page on there. So uh, we appreciate everyone's support. We appreciate everyone that listens, and tell your friends. The more people that listen, the more we can put these episodes out for you. Thanks for being here, Joseph. Hope you have a good weekend. Hope you
Hell
feel
yeah, man.
better.
You too. Thank you.
And we'll see you guys in the next episode.